Hello and welcome to the Soulful Mamas podcast. You're with your host Maria, and yes, it is me, Maria. I know my voice sounds a bit odd. I'm just at the very tail end of I'm not exactly sure what it was. We'll say it was a flu. Um, uh, yeah, I could go on a whole lot of different tangents. We'll just leave it at I think it was a flu. And I'm left with this throat restriction, and my voice is, as you can hear, a little bit strained, but I am feeling pretty much better than I have been for the last 3 or 4 days. Some really pretty intense headaches and body aches, so that was, yeah, not fun, but whenever we've experienced any kind of illness, there's usually some kind of breakthrough. Do you notice that with your children? When, particularly with our children, we can notice it. When they're sick, once they come out the other side of it, we notice it feels like they've grown 2 feet, or they've mastered a new skill or a balance, or they can hold their knife and fork. There's some kind of development that happens with that illness, helps them to go within, and it's like this fire of birthing into a new stage and phase of their development. So I feel like maybe that's what it was for me as well. I've just had to really, really go inward, and because my headaches were pretty bad, I couldn't read, I couldn't write anything, because I've often, what are you saying, Maria? I've always got a to-do list, and I've always got things going around in my mind of what I'm doing or could be doing, or dare I say it, should be doing. So even though I know I talk a lot about unbusying ourselves, and I do strive to do this, but to do this, I often need my to-do list so I can adhere to that. Anyway, so I just had to surrender to, being really still. Really still. I did lots of Reiki, and that's pretty much all I could do. So it was a nice time of surrender. So who knows if there's going to be a burst of growth from this. I don't think I'm going to get 2 feet taller, but perhaps more in internal growth, that insightfulness, but what I was thinking was more on the lines of soul growth. And that's kind of what this podcast is about today. It's just a short one. I did say last week that I would come on and do a little talk on the Lionsgate portal, which is, for us in New Zealand, it's tomorrow, Thursday, the 8th of the 8th. And so, I wanted to do it in real time. And that's why I'm doing it right now. With my voice isn't quite right, because I'm all about being authentic and just do what I say I'm going to do, and real time. So, and the Lionsgate portal, it's intrigued me, fascinated me for many years, really. I've always been drawn to these numbers. The number 8, the infinity sign, abundance, just that loops. And I've always been somehow drawn to that. So this period of time, even when I didn't even know anything about what is this Lionsgate portal, just sounded pretty cool. 8th of the 8th, but more than sounding pretty cool, there was just something about it that did attract me to it. And then over the years, I've learnt more about it and have started to work with this and even embody it to a higher level. Excuse me. So in a nutshell, the Lionsgate is when we're in the sign of Leo right now. Orion's belt Sirius are lined up with the Earth, and it's to do with the star Sirius, which in this time is more, I don't know, potent and activated for us here on Earth. And Sirius is seen as our spiritual sun. So we have our own sun that provides us basically life on Earth. But Sirius, the star Sirius, is also a sun, actually 23 times brighter than or bigger than our sun, but it's obviously further away. That is our spiritual sun. So when that is sort of lined up with us, the potential is that our own spiritual or soul gifts can come online a little bit more. Things get amplified. There's a more abundant feeling in there, and it's an accelerator of our own growth, particularly in that realm of spiritual growth, soul growth, however that aligns for you. So it's like our little, we have these, we know the language around what's your soul purpose and what are your soul gifts, and even soul awakening, that type of thing. But do you know? If I was to ask you that, do you know what your soul gifts are? Do you know you have any? Do you know what your soul's purpose is? And if so, are you living it? Are you doing it? So this time, the energy that we're in, this portal, and it peaks on the 8th of the 8th, tomorrow. We've been in the portal window from the 26th of July and it goes through to I think it's 12th of August, but the 8th is when it peaks. And so it's a really beautiful time to really stop and think and reflect on, well, where am I at with what am I doing? What for my soul, what lights my soul up, what is soul filling? And because, this podcast is Soulful Mamas, and I thought I have to talk about this because, after each interview, I ask each mama, what do they do to keep their soul full? And I preempt them beforehand. They know that I'm going to ask them that question because sometimes it's hard for them to answer. Isn't that interesting? I mean, if I asked you that question, what do you do to keep your soul full? Do you know what that is? On a soul level, that really lights you up and brings you that blissful, joyful space and experience. Do you know what that is? So I thought this is a really perfect time, little window that we can really drop into asking ourselves, so what does light me up? What are my soul gifts? What are those soul experiences that create so much joy in me? For me, to be out in nature, trees, the flowing water, plants, out in the bush, I love it. It's timelessness for me. And other people, it could be some kind of exercise, it could be swimming, it could be, I don't know, playing with your children. I don't know, there's all sorts of things. I mean, there's lots of things that are soul-filling, really, aren't there? But we don't put a lot of focus on that always, and especially as busy mamas, we do things that we think we enjoy doing, but sometimes they're more surface level, and because they fit in with what everybody else likes to do as well. And then sometimes when it's something that real inner yearning to do something is ours and ours alone, and if it doesn't align with the family, what they want to do, then we push it down and we say, oh, well, another day. But what if in this period of time, this little window, we could ask ourselves, well, what is it that fills my soul? Soulful and soulful. What are those things? What is it that I could do? Maybe something I can read, or beautiful music, or going for a hike on your own. Sometimes doing something on your own is quite wonderful. Yeah, so find a journal if you have one, and just just write. Stream of consciousness. What with the thought, with the intention of putting onto paper, what is soul filling for me? What fills my soul? And you might be surprised at what comes forth onto the paper. And then when you see this, you think, okay, am I doing these things? Am I doing them enough? And how can I make any little changes, little tweaks in my little world to enable these soul-filling activities to become more of a priority? I guess it's like self-care, isn't it? I dance around. I try hard not to use the word self-care overly, because it can be like, oh yeah, I'll do another talk on this. But this is soul level, soul stuff. And because we're in this window, this Lion's Gate portal, it's like the veil's thin right now. So the energy of our spiritual star, our spiritual sun, Sirius, is really, really accessible and amplified right now. So to harness your innermost desires, your innermost gifts and strengths, and that, it's like, when it's a full moon, everything is very amplified in that full moon light. You can see more. And obviously dark moon is the same. So with this portal right now, the energy of Sirius is powerful. So, and it's a gift for us to harness and access and use this. So what an opportunity, really. So that's why I'm coming on here to say, drop into it, explore, feel. What is it? Basically asking yourself the question, what makes my soul full? And am I doing it enough? If not, why not? If not, how possibly could you make some changes to enable this to be more of a priority? And just lastly, I'm starting my next Turn of the Wheel offering also tomorrow on the Lion's Gate, which I can't wait, because hopefully my voice is a bit better. Yeah, it's just a really potent date to start, and we'll have a beautiful I'll go way more in depth on Lion's Gate, and we'll have some soul journeys and meditations, and really drop into this energy, which will start us on a 8-week program. So we're basically following the wheel of the year from Imbolc to Spring Equinox, when we'll finish. And we'll finish that on the 26th of September with a lovely little Spring Equinox ceremony. It's all online, Thursday evenings. So if you're interested or want to know a little bit more, just send me an email, maria@parentingwithsoul.com, and I'll give you more details. I'd love for you to join us. It's a beautiful small group, lovely safe space where we can learn and explore, and it's very held, and you'll be learning along the way of the wheel of the year. So that's probably as much as my voice will allow for today. So I am wishing you the absolute most soul-filling day and soul-filling Lion's Gate portal period. If you do tap into this energy, let me know. How'd you go? Or if you need to know more, then ask me and I'll give you some more info. As you can tell, I quite love this sort of stuff. Anything soul related is pretty right up my alley. Anyway, I look forward to speaking with you all next week, and have a soul-filling week in the meantime.